Hello, EKN Nation. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole for another edition of the EKN OutLap, episode number 96. It is September 22nd, 2025, and this show will kick off our coverage of this year's Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, the 9th edition of this fantastic event coming up this weekend, September 25th to 28th, a packed paddock once again at Newcastle Motorsports Park for the largest Briggs & Stratton only event in North America and the world. Today's edition of the OutLap presented by Odenthal Racing Products. Motor mounts are critical to producing 100% of the power your engine has to get that and you onto the podium each and every time. Odenthal Racing Products provide the best in the karting market today. Odenthal Racing Products is a family-owned and operated business with decades of karting experience providing products with unmatched quality and value for the karting market. Check out their Pro Series mount for 2-cycle engines and their 4-cycle Easy Set for the Briggs & Stratton 206 power plant. Head to odenthalracing.com and find a dealer near you. Odenthal Racing Products, made in the USA. David Cole, let's dive into this thing. What do you got? Edition number 9 of the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals. Throughout the years, it has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. This year, maybe a bit of a drop because they've kind of hit that tipping point. But the bottom line is this will be the biggest race of the year for 4-cycle drivers.
Definitely the biggest race for all 4-cycle racers and part of the sport as a whole in general, because again, you're looking at over 500 entries for the event, somewhere between 450 and 500 drivers. We don't have an exact number calculated yet, but we'll wait till at the end of after the event. So again, yes, this is the big one. This is the one everybody's kind of been gearing up to since the end of 2024, really.
Yeah.
When this race was completed and the divisional racing began. You had 3 major events. You got the Winter Nationals, the Spring Nationals, and the Summer Nationals for Cup Karts North America. And so we've got some major winners already. But this is the big one. This is the big show. Everybody heads to Newcastle Motorsports Park to become a Grand National champion.
And of course, everybody kind of waiting to find out what the layout was going to be for the event. There's been a couple layouts that have been used over the last number of years. David, we kind of just found out just the last couple of days here. They're going back to track 43. That layout there running the counterclockwise direction. You and I have raced that one before.
Yeah, it's been used in Grand Nationals 3, 4, 6, and 7. Last year, we went to include the I-70 part, so very similar to this layout. But so this is kind of the original layout. I don't remember what they used in 1 and 2. I want to say it was this layout. It might have been something different. I'll have to go back into my notes for that. But we weren't there for 1 and 2, but we've been there since Grand Nationals 3. So all of these events, all 9 events have been held at Newcastle Motorsports Park. And going back to 2017, this was a 2-final weekend event where they took like the overall winner and you became the champion. So it moved to a single final format in 2018 for Grand Nationals 2. And since then has followed that format with, again, the winner on Sunday being the champion from the Grand Nationals.
Yeah, it is, as we know, a very busy schedule. 4-day race weekend, Thursday through Sunday. Thursday, things get kicked off with practice, 4 rounds of practice set to go on the Thursday. Friday will be the warm-up session. So warm-up, a happy hour session as well, which sets up the kind of lineup for qualifying. Then they'll have the qualifying session. And we actually go wheel-to-wheel racing for the first time as well, with heat race number 1. Now, David, it's not just, when I say it's just Friday, it's a little different because at the CKNA Grand Nationals, they run a morning sessions and an afternoon session. So your group is either in the morning and the afternoon one day and then swaps from the morning to the afternoon the next day.
Yeah, different groups. That was started last year when we started running under the lights. That was something new, carried over. Newcastle Motorsports Park has done night racing with their Labor Day weekend event. And Cup Karts brought on that part of helping to make it a unique event last year.
I love it.
And as you said, so we have morning groups and afternoon groups on Friday, and then they swap. So if you're morning on Friday, you go to the afternoon on Saturday. So everybody gets an opportunity and a chance to not only be done in the morning, but also to race at night. So again, different scenarios play out. Racing at night, Rob, we can attest to that. It's a little bit different than racing during the daylight for sure at Newcastle Motorsports Park.
I love it though. I think racing at night's a ton of fun. It was awesome. And so for Friday, morning classes: cadet, senior, medium, masters, kid kart, and sportsman. Kid kart will run a shorter track as they always do. In the afternoon, junior, senior heavy, legends, and senior light. Saturday day, when we come back the next day, warm up, heat 2, heat 3, all 8-lap heat races. But then we flip flop them with morning and afternoon. The juniors, the senior heavies, my class, the legends, and the senior lights go in the morning. The remainder in the afternoon. So you're going to run morning one day and the afternoon the next day, flip flop back and forth. So if you're kind of where I am with the juniors, senior heavy, legends, and senior light, you're going to run Friday afternoon and you're going to come right back at it again on Saturday morning. But you do get Saturday afternoon off. Lots going on that day as well.
Yeah, and this year they're actually going to put the kid karts in the afternoon sessions this year. Last year they were in the morning both days. And looking at the schedule, they're not necessarily going to be under the lights there on Saturday because their session will run at 5:05, which, well, if anything, it's more the sunlight shining into your visor with the sun setting. I'm not sure exactly what time, but I recall last year that was one of the I think we were in the Friday afternoon sessions. The light just shined right into your visors, and it was quite chaotic
Dave,
in certain parts of the racetrack.
Looking real quick here for today, sunset at the track around 7:38. So it's the kid karts will be well before sunset. Yeah.
And that sets up. And so Saturday, they're going to continue with the Briggs Out of the Box Challenge. This year, it's a little bit different. They're going to go with just junior drivers this year, so not senior drivers. And they're also going to do it all at the afternoon on Saturday. So what will happen is you're going to have, first will be a new CKNA tire mounting challenge, which will take place roughly about 6:20 in the evening. After that, they're going to do the out of the box challenge right there on pit lane at 6:30 at night. So you said sunset 7 something. So it'll be kind of that golden hour. So maybe get some cool photos of guys taking the engine out of the box and putting it on a cart. And I think the winning time was like 5 minutes last year, if I can recall correctly. But so you're going to have that. And then they're going to get a scrutineering. So make sure all the builds were done correctly. Everything's good with that. And then by 7:30, they're going to be on the racetrack. So this is going to be a bang, bang, bang type scenario where last year we did the build off at the lunch period. They had time to regroup, kind of collect themselves. So this is going to be kind of a big bang show, all within, an hour and a half of each other, probably 2 hours if you count the tire changing thing as well. So Newcastle Motorsports Park going to host a cookout that evening as well. So Saturday night's going to be a big, big party. There'll be probably a chili cook-off as well as we saw last year. There's going to be a whole lot of craziness going on. You'll be primed up and ready to go since you'll be done on the racetrack at 1 p.m. that day. So I think you'll be ready to go.
Sunday morning starts with warm up for the LCQs because there will be some last chance qualifiers. Senior light, junior, and senior medium will have last chance qualifiers to set the grids. Those are 10 lappers to see who goes to the main events. And then, of course, finals after that. We'll move into the final segment. That way, everybody who's made the finals runs their warm up. And then, of course, 15-lap finals to wrap up this edition of the Grand Nationals. All told, David, should be a pretty awesome weekend at Newcastle. 4 days of on-track action, culminating with main events on Sunday.
Yeah, a wild 4 days. And again, with the groupings going morning, afternoon, just a completely different, unique event from what you're used to in the normal sense of racing. And again, over 500 entries in this event for all the categories. Just it's going to be a wild and crazy weekend. Not to mention, we haven't even talked about the weather.
Yeah. Do you want to do that now? Before we go to the break?
You looked it up. I completely forgot to look up the weather. So
yeah, it's interesting. Essentially, Thursday and Friday on track. Thursday is 70% chance of rain with a high of 73. Again, I'm just looking at my phone. Friday, 40% chance. So very likely during our practice day, it's going to be wet track all day long. Potential wet track all day on Friday when we actually start going to work, right? So Friday, as we had said, that's warm up, happy hour, qualifying, the opening round of heats. We could have wet weather wheel-to-wheel racing to get things underway. Saturday and Sunday, though, David, sunny and 75. Let's take that for a perfect weekend. You got to soldier your way through the first couple of days. But yeah, other than that, coming back on Saturday, hopefully for fantastic weather on Sunday as well.
And it's been a couple of years since we did have a good amount of rain or be actual wet sessions for the event. So we've been lucky with that. I want to say 2022, we did get some rain throughout that event, but I remember 2020, 2019, 2021. So we had a lot of rain in those first few years that we attended the event. And so we've been on a lucky streak with great weather. So as long as we get great weather on Sunday, I'll be happy because it's all heat races. Who cares about that?
Saturday and Sunday for sure. If we have great weather Saturday and Sunday, chilling outside Garage 33, we'll be in good shape. I love it. All right, first break. When we get back, we'll go by the numbers, give you a look at where we are class by class, and we've got some great fun stats as well. Keith Warren from Race Select sent us over some information. This is obviously a big event for Race Select. Lots going on. David can talk more about the launch of their app as well. But when we get back, we'll let you know what we have in terms of entries here for this year's Grand Nationals. The new face of competitive karting in the Pacific Northwest region is RaceLab. The full-service karting operation is located at the state-of-the-art Kartplex facility in Oliver, British Columbia, Canada, providing everything you need to hit the track or put yourself in a successful driver development program. RaceLab is the official North American distributor for the TB Kart chassis brand, providing the full range of models from kid kart to shifter kart. Villeneuve Racing Karts is their flagship product, available only through RaceLab. The brand carries the name of Formula One champion and Indianapolis 500 winner Jacques Villeneuve, with each model produced by TB Kart. Kartplex, the home of RaceLab, is situated on the grounds of the Area 27 Motorsports Park. From full arrive and drive TB Kart rentals to leagues and competition karting, the facility provides a new home to developing the future stars of motorsports, all beginning at Kartplex with RaceLab. Follow RaceLab on social media on Facebook and Instagram, or load up their website at www.theracelab.ca to learn more about TB Kart and Villeneuve Racing Karts. RaceLab. Race with us, win with us. For over 90 years, DID has been the leading manufacturer for high-quality on- and off-road chain use. DID has been chosen by the top powersport athletes from all over the world and is continuing to grow every day. From the karting track or your off-road adventures to your long street bike trips, DID has a chain to fit your needs. Their kart chain lineup offers variations of chains from high-performance sealed chains to the industry-leading non-sealed 219 HTZ chain. The DID SDH pin treatment is the unique design that allows for a lighter chain for less rotational mass, while still keeping a high tensile strength for peak performance. If you're in the need for a high-quality chain, DID has a chain for all makes and models. With our cutting-edge chain lineup, take your ride to the next level with DID. Visit didchain.com to find a dealer near you. Welcome back to episode number 96 of the EKN OutLap, starting off our EKN Trackside coverage of this coming weekend's CK&A Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals 9 out at Newcastle Motorsports Park. My name is Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. We'll be trackside throughout the weekend. I'll be racing just Legends this year. David taking the year off to focus on coverage. We'll see him back behind the wheel in 2026. David, looking by the numbers, I mentioned early, as the last couple of years, this race has got bigger and bigger. You go 2019, 281 entries, 2020, 296. Big jump in 2021, 375. Very similar in 2022, 380. Another massive jump from 22 to 23, 501. 121 more entries, almost 33% growth there. Actually, over 33% growth. Another 84 up last year to 385. That was kind of the high water mark. And David, as I mentioned earlier, we're kind of at that point right now where, how many more drivers are going to come to the event. Right now, 538 pre-entries heading into the weekend.
Yeah, a massive amount of drivers coming. And again, it's finding that niche and finding how can you get more people, more racers to the event. Again, timing is everything. September seems to be a good month. I think the majority of the issues is there's been so much racing going on across the country, not just 4-cycle racing, but 2-cycle racing. So, I mean, you're getting the crossovers, you're getting the racers who typically race 2-cycle coming over. You're getting a lot of new influx with, the grassroots movement. But, we saw a couple of the divisionals down in numbers this year, but we saw some other of the divisional programs that were up in numbers this year. Yeah. So it's very tough to tell why or any particular reason as to why the number dropped down. I did notice a few drivers aren't double dutying. So maybe that's part of it. But again, there's just so many different factors and things to look at in terms of why entry numbers are what they are. But again, across the board, 538 entries going into the weekend. I'm sure we'll have some walk-ups as well too. So could get over the 550 mark for sure. That could be a possibility.
Well, Dave, just looking at 2 right now, Senior Light and Legends, that's 33 driver entries right there, because Senior Light goes from 104 last year, massive amount, down to 86. Legends was 58 last year, down 13 to 45. So again, you're going to see that happen as we know. Kid Karts are 23 strong, just a couple down from last year, and the second most in the history of the event. Obviously, Cadet back at it again. It was new for 2023, but just 1 down from last year. Sportsman, in fact, David, is up from last year by 6. 41 drivers in the Sportsman category.
Yeah, and again, with the kid kart all the way through Cadet and Sportsman, it's an age thing. Who's moved up, who hasn't, that's kind of a big factor. And so, Sportsman going up, that could be the drivers coming up from Cadet and making it larger, or not enough drivers moved up to this junior ranks. So again, a lot of different factors in the way the numbers worked out. But yeah, Sportsman actually improving, as well as senior medium, the largest category of the event, up to 105 entries for this year. So again, that's the big show. That's the one you want to win. With 105 drivers in that category.
Yeah, 87 in junior, 86 in senior medium, 59 in senior heavy, 43 in masters, and 45 in legends. Some fantastic numbers, 358 pre-entries coming in. There was over 600 pre-entries last year, but there were some cancellations, drivers that didn't roll in and participate last year. 585, the high watermark back in 2024. David, I mentioned talking a little bit about Race Select. They've obviously stepped up. Keith Warren, that whole Race Select program have really kind of revolutionized race entry, registration. Obviously, the app coming out, I think, this weekend as well. I think you might know more about that. But the great thing that obviously Keith and everything has got put together, he's able to pull so much data from obviously the registration platform. And he sent us an email, Dave, with some really cool stats regarding the actual event this weekend.
Yeah, going into the event, just he record-breaking sales for this event. Is the fastest selling event in Race Select history. At one stretch, they were getting more than 1 entry per second. So once registration opened, very similar to what we saw at the Supernats. So it's crazy because that one got over 500 entries in 72 hours. So maybe there was just a bit of a spacing between entries, but it's just wild. Over 10,000 visitors have hit the entry list page over the first few days of registration, which is pretty wild to see. Let me go into some other ones. I
like the team diversity. There's 120 unique teams. Now there are some big teams, but the thing about this race, just only David, because it speaks really about this race. This is grassroots racing. We always talk about Operation Grassroots, right? This is family teams.
And that's where I was going to go at. There's over 25% of the field are privateers, or somebody who hasn't labeled a team, because a lot of teams could be just that, a privateer. So you don't quite really know if it's a team or not a team. So yeah, that's just, it could be different names. Again, we like we talked about in our EKN 25 happy hour with Howden, how everybody had driver profiles up on ekartingnews.com. There were some unique team names back then in that day. So
yes,
you get a lot of that in the grassroots kind of thing. I was going to go to the age span, which is really cool. We talk about it all the time when we get to grassroots racing. The oldest driver was born in 1952. So a 73-year-old will be racing this weekend. I'm not sure who it is. I'll have to do some research on that. And then the youngest driver is born in 2020. So 5 years old at the youngest driver this weekend. So quite a range. So you're talking World War II era to COVID. That's quite a range.
Two biggest teams will be Steel Motorsports and Precision Performance Karting. Essentially, those two teams are about 10% each. So 20%, nearly 20% of all entries will be running under those two tents, the Precision Performance Karting and Steel Motorsports tent. So there's some big tents going on there for sure.
Yeah, I did. That's the one thing I was going to get to next. That was massive numbers going through the entry lists and correcting team names and chassis names and stuff like that. That stood out to me before I even saw this data point. So yeah, pretty wild to see that. Looking season-wide participation, over 1,000 unique drivers race in Cup Karts North America events. So that includes all 4 divisional programs, the South, the East, the North, and Canada, along with their major events, the Winter Nationals, Spring Nationals, and Summer Nationals. So we talked about numbers last year at the end of the season, Rob. That's just wild to see 1,000 unique drivers. Because we keep trying to put a pinpoint on how many actual karters there are in North America. And so that tells you alone, just in Cup Karts North America racing, there are over 1,000 unique drivers.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing stuff for sure. One of the really interesting things that Race Select has provided us as well is, and we talk about the growth of this race and getting bigger and bigger. David, 25% of the field this year, first timers at a CKNA race. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about, because you look at the massive size of the field that we have. It's just wild to see that and then not be over 600. So I think that tells you is that there's a lot of former racers that aren't returning back, whether it be, personal situations or what. So it's, again, we talked about it before. You look at like some of the championship programs. If you can get all the drivers who participate in those series to all go to the same events, you get massive numbers. So it's really strange to see 25% of the field are first timers.
Yeah, no doubt about that, folks. All right. So one last bit. Do you want to throw the bit out about the Epic Road Trip Champ? Because the GFC crew from Selah, Washington, the longest drive of the event, all the way from the Pacific Northwest to run in this event. Shout out to those guys. I love it. That's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's a couple drivers. I was looking at the entry list, not quite sure, but I'm sure it's a driver for Wicked Racing, and Kyle Wick's program that's up there in the Pacific Northwest. So yeah, I saw it earlier. I can't find out that name.
We'll pick it up as we come through. Maybe we'll come back to that when we're doing our class by class. But folks, this is time for another break, because when we come back, I mentioned class by class. We're going to start out with the senior category, senior light, medium, and heavy. The 105 entry medium category will be the first one we hit. Stay tuned. More to come on this edition of the OutLap. A new era is here for TB Kart USA. The face of TB Kart USA has changed heading into 2025, with the ownership group behind the Amarillo Kart Circuit becoming the new U.S. importer and distributor of the TB Kart brand. Located at the Amarillo Kart Complex in Panhandle, Texas, owner Kyle Yachinsky is motivated to expand the TB Kart brand from coast to coast. As the brand's dealer network extends, TB Kart USA formed a partnership with Norway Motorsports Park to become the exclusive distribution partner for the North Central United States. TB Kart USA is working with current dealers around the U.S., striving to add more dealers and partners to help support TB Kart drivers at the local and regional programs. TB Kart is among the more innovative chassis manufacturers, growing into one of the leading brands in the world over the last decade. The history of the parent company for TB Kart dates back over a century in Urba, Italy, with the Brenna family. Their passion for manufacturing and racing led to the development of their first karts in the mid-1980s. TB Kart USA will continue to work directly with the TB Kart factory on development of each chassis model, ranging from kid kart to shifter kart. This strong relationship has led to new and improved front-end geometry, along with brake system changes to bring the TB Kart brand to the front for this season. The globally recognized TB Kart rental kart product line, featuring 5 different models, is also available through TB Kart USA for tracks to utilize here in the US. To learn more about joining the TB Kart USA distribution network or to find a dealer near you, contact them via email at amarillokartcomplex@gmail.com or call 210-787-0589. Fast, fair, and fun. Ignite Karting offers you all of that at an affordable price. Ignite Karting utilizes the spec Margay Ignite K3 chassis with a Briggs & Stratton 206 engine and the Hoosier R80 tire. Everyone in the rookie, junior, senior, heavy, and masters classes compete on the same Ignite K3 chassis, which puts all the emphasis squarely on driver development. Additionally, Ignite Karting is accessible at the local, regional, and national level. Special events for the season include the Ignite Majors that begin with the annual trip to the Daytona International Speedway as part of the WKA Daytona Kart Week, running in both the sprint and road racing events. Those in the Midwest can enjoy the regionally based Ignite Challenge, featuring 5 iconic facilities. Local club programs have also been established in states all across the country, Idaho to Texas, Nebraska to New York, with more tracks and clubs joining the Ignite Karting program. Be part of fast, fun, and great memories with Margay Racing at an Ignite track near you. All information on Ignite events and Ignite Kart packages, including dealers in your area, are available at ignitekarting.com. Get off the couch and onto the track this year. Ignite Karting. Fuel your passion. And we're back with episode 96 of the OutLap, kicking off our EKN Trackside coverage of this coming weekend's Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals 9 at Newcastle Motorsports Park. I'm Rob Howden, joined by David Cole. David, let's dive into our senior medium category. 105 entries, the biggest class in the program. Former winners, we talk about some of these big dogs: Colin Warren, Jeremy Warren, Gary Lawson, Jordan Pryor, Jacob Donald, McGabriel, Christopher McKeithen as well. Colin Warren, of course, the defending winner coming in. But David, the CKNA divisional winners will be ready to tackle it as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild one. Again, I was just doing my research. 105 drivers. So it's very tough to kind of scroll down and not pick up a name. You look at the former champions of this event, Colin Warren being one of them. He's in the field. He's a defending champion, 3-time winner. Christopher McKeithen, who won back in 2023, he's in the field. So those are the only 2 previous winners in this field. So as we said, Warren, a 3-time winner, McKeithen winning back in 2023. We have all 4 divisional champions in the field. That includes Owen Lloyd, who won the South, Brady Eckhoff in the East, Nick Sobiak in the North, and Jason Rothman, the Canadian champion. So all 4 drivers are in this field. There's a lot to go over. I'll start with one because we were looking at GFC from our last segment. Kyle Wick. Kyle Wick in the field. Former SCUSA Pro Tour champion, among the top-ranked shifter kart drivers in the country. Racing going back to, I don't know necessarily if it's his roots, because I don't recall. I'm sure he did probably some clone racing, or maybe I don't quite think he's a flathead era kind of kid. But,
I don't think so, no.
But so Kyle Wick, he was actually here at Newcastle testing before with some of his racers for Wicked Racing. So they've been to Newcastle. They did the Summer Nationals as well. So yes, they are among the long haul drivers that are coming all the way from Washington down to be part of the Grand Nationals. There's a bunch of drivers from Washington that will be competing, including the Sessler brothers, Gabe and Jake.
For sure.
So that stood out to me right away. Was Kyle Wick's a big name. Obviously, you look at 2-cycle racers. Chase Jones is another 2-cycle racer, car racer as well too, former sprint car driver. Rob, I'll let you kind of go on from there.
Yeah, I quickly went through and looked at some of the names, like a Dylan Edmondson. We've seen him run up front, as we know, right, on many occasions. Obviously, you already mentioned Christopher McKeithen, Owen Lloyd. We talked about Owen already. James Overbeck is in the category. We know he's going to be fast. Austin Olds. Jed Perkins, I think, will be a driver to watch for as well. Perkins, as we know, David, always in the middle of the fight.
Yeah, always in the middle of the fight. I'm not sure if he'll be on a CRG or not. Sorry, I was looking up something, so I'm not on the entry list. But
how about Nicholas Terlecki as well?
Yeah, I got notification from the guys at Happy Kart Racing. Terlecki coming back to race. His father was ill this past year, so he's definitely he's on the mend, so getting better. So Nick took some time away from the sport to help his father out. So great to see Nick. Nick's a great kid. Was trying to help driver coach me before, just told me to go faster. So not really sure on that, but it'll be great to see Nick back.
Jonathan Treadwell, the Canadian driver who is a very impressive four-cycle racer with Steel Motorsports. He'll be in the fight on that barrel art machine. Obviously, Eli Warren has been very strong. He's won before at the Grand Nationals. Colin Warren, as we know. Henry Wheeler back at it again. Henry was in the middle of the fight last year, David, up front with Steel Motorsports as well.
Yeah, I was just looking at, that's what I was pulling up was last year's results. Wheeler was second. So Owen Lloyd was fourth. I think, we say Quinn? Is Quinn coming back? Yep. He was fifth last year. No Paulie Massimino this year. That's a name that's missing along with Brandon Jarzakrak. So those are two names that we've been seeing over in the past in this category. So they're not returning. Massimino was sixth last year.
What do you think about John Antonino jumping up in the fight too?
Yeah, John Antonino, a junior driver moving up into the senior ranks. So that's this will be kind of his senior debut. That'll be interesting to kind of see how he adjusts to the different level. And of course, Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals, a lot of side-by-side racing. So we'll see if he's able to muscle up and keep up front. Cade Jagger, last year's junior winner, moving up to the senior ranks as well too. So that's another junior graduate to watch as well.
Louisiana's Cameron Reed on the CRG, Reagan Seville out of Texas, Lucas Theck out of Florida with Precision Performance Karting. Watch for him to be in the fight, but Justin Wishart as well. I think you got to expect he will be in the middle of the fight too, David.
Reed was the out of the box winner last year. So that was fun to watch with under the lights there. But yeah, again, just a lot of drivers to kind of keep an eye on throughout the weekend. Again, 105 drivers competing in this category.
So again, now we'll move into senior light and senior heavy. And a lot of times you're going to see similar names because, I know we've really mentioned this yet, but with the medium category, it allows a light driver to put some bolts and weight on to run medium. A lot of people like running two categories on the weekend. So light, bolt on to go medium, and if you're heavy, you're either taking the weight off the cart to run medium or whatever makes it close. Senior light 86, senior heavy 59, but you're going to get guys, David, that are going to cross over on both. So a lot of the names are going to be very similar in senior light and senior medium.
Yeah, Colin Warren, a winner in both categories previously. Warren won the light division in 2020 and 2021. The last two-time winner, James Overbeck, not racing in the light category, at least not registered. So we'll see if that'll change trackside, but he's not on the entry list. So defending winner, not racing in this category. Finished second last year was Christopher McKeithen. He's in the field. Owen Lloyd, one of the divisional winners, he's in the field along with Henry Wheeler, the East champion, and Cale Zimmerman, the North champion. All three of those drivers in the field for 2025. Calvin Zing, the fifth place winner or fifth place finisher last year, he's also in the field. So you got three of the top five returning for this year's race.
Some other drivers obviously pop out for me. We know obviously Christopher McKeithen. How about Isaac Malkin as well, up into the senior category, David? I think he'll be a driver to watch. He's had some success here in the last month, so maybe Malkin with Steel Motorsports, maybe to come into the fight. How about Kevin King from PSL Karting? Get him back behind the wheel. I like to see that. Kevin, one of the owners of PSL Karting.
Yeah, I can't recall the last time I saw him behind the wheel.
Right?
It's been a while, so we'll have to do a quick little interview with him about that and getting back behind the wheel. Not sure if he did any racing up there in Canada. We know there's been a lot of racing, 4-cycle racing going on, both Cup Karts and other programs as well throughout the country. So we'll have to get the lowdown on that. But Malkit, as you said, he actually raced senior light all season long in Cup Karts competition. So he's already done this. In terms of racing at the senior level, but we see him on the 2-cycle side racing in the junior ranks. So, yep.
From Roderick Racing Development, the DeMasters, Emily and Tanner DeMaster rolling in. Of course, the Wisconsin drivers usually right up in the middle of the fight as well. I mentioned Scott Clayman. We talked about Owen Lloyd. Diego Ramos, David, he and Ian Quinn, rather. I think both those drivers are going to be ready to battle it out. Ramos is going to be there, of course, with PSL Karting. Quinn with Steel Motorsports. Already talked about him in the medium category. But those two barrel art drivers, you know that they're going to be at the pointy end of the grid, even with 80-something drivers in the category.
Yeah, seeing Ramos is just doing light, so he's not doing double duty. So again, we talk about that. A lot of people aren't double duty for some reason this year. So, but Ramos, he was a big winner at Newcastle Motorsports Park for the Supercars USA Summer Nationals, winning both classes in KA Senior and then winning on Sunday in X30 Pro. So he knows this racetrack, knows it very well. We'll see if he's able to handle the kind of pack racing that Briggs Racing brings.
Yeah, I'll throw another name out for you, David, only because you guys are racing together at Rock Island. Thomas Sherrick for Bobby Krug Racing on a VLR. You guys did a little bit of, I think you get a little side-by-side stuff at Rock Island, did you not?
I think so, yeah. I'm trying to think back. It was well over a couple of weeks ago. The name does sound familiar. I'm trying to think of
you were literally. I watched live timing. You guys were literally together for one of the whole races almost. I thought.
There's so much race. I was in so many sessions, Rob. It's very hard.
You were in a lot of sessions, yes.
And my brain is fried right now. So to be honest, I'm sure I did. He was probably faster than I was. So yes, watch out for him.
All right, there you go. All right, let's go to senior heavy right now. 59 drivers in the category. Curtis Fox winning the Canadian back in 2019. Gary Lawson, Adam Maxwell, Eric Fagan, Chris Carroll, Owen Lloyd, the defending champion. One actually won the South Divisional series as well, David. So he's definitely one that we'll be watching here in the senior heavy category.
Well, he actually won all 3 categories in the South Division. So he won the championship in medium, light, and heavy. So yes. So Lloyd is doing all 3 again at the Grand Nationals. And again, with the split of the groups morning to afternoon, he's able to focus on one in one of the groups, and then he's going to have to do light and heavy in the other groups. So that it's a little bit more work in doing the light and heavy. But again, he's a former winner here at the event, winning. Which one did he win? I'm trying to.
Have a look at it.
When he did, he won heavy here last year, so that's what it was. So he's coming in as the defending champion.
Here's the thing about heavy too. Heavy, you get a lot of drivers that will run masters as well. David, you did this last year, right? Where you run heavy and you run masters. So there's going to be a lot of really very quick masters drivers in this group as well. I'll just throw a couple at one. Number one, Mark Steele. Right. Steel Motorsports, one of the biggest teams on the weekend. Again, 10% of the field are going to be under that Steel Motorsports tent, but he is definitely going to be one to watch. David, whatever category Mark runs, he's going to be up front and potentially with a chance of going for a race win. He's just that impressive.
Yeah, he's a 2-time winner in the Masters, defending winner. Was up front in the heavy category. I think something happened. I don't think so.
Recall. He pulled off early, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so only got 1 lap in, so there might have been a wreck or something like that. I'm not sure. But Lloyd won this race last year. Sean Mayer finishing in second. I'm looking to see the other one. Yep. Yeah. Sean Mayer there, but Eric Fagan. Meyer. Eric Fagan, a former Masters winner. I'm looking at it once. Yeah, one-time winner in Masters. Finished third last year in heavy. So he's one to watch for sure as well.
Jeff Dolian.
Yeah, Jeff. Sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to break down all the names here. There's too many. Jeff Dolian is a Masters driver that ran both heavy and Masters as well. So that's a name. Looks like Jamie Bradford's actually going to do both. I don't think he's ever done both before. So yeah, he's actually going to do double dipping this year. Chris Carroll, he won the heavy category. He's another Masters driver in this field, but he won the heavy category back in 2023. So Fagan won heavy in 2022. So again, Gary Lawson I think was a Masters driver when he won in 2020. So again, this is kind of that mix between senior and Masters drivers.
Yeah, so you got McKeithen, you've got Overbeck, you got Perkins, you got the big guns we know. Another driver who knows this track very well, David, stepped up. He's done really well nationally running when series come to the track. That's Clay Settles. Yeah, out of Kentucky on the top cart. I expect that Clay, who I think won, what was it, the Summer National? I think he won at the Summer Nationals, didn't he? I think he won one of the races in the KA Master potentially. No, we don't. It wasn't SCUSA. What race was he at? Was it
USPKS?
USPKS. Yeah, that's right. He won there as well. So Clay Settles will be a driver to watch for sure.
And I think this is McKeithen's debut in the heavy category at the Grand Nationals, because I didn't see him in the results from last year. So
is he running all three?
So maybe getting older, he's adding more weight to the nut behind the wheel. But yes, I assume he's racing all three. I'm still trying to sort through all these numbers and drivers, and yes, so he's racing both.
All right,
we're all three. Sorry.
Let's go to another break. When we get back, we'll go juniors, master, and legends. In this day and age, if you need something for your karting program, it's just one mouse click away. One of the leading online stores in the sport of karting is tsracing.com. The Florida-based company has been serving the karting community for decades. TS Racing is one of the few kart shops with technical expertise in all divisions of karting. TS Racing's online superstore features a full range of the products you need to start karting today, or to restock your garage or trailer for the racing season. TS Racing is also the official distributor for Vega tires. For dirt, road racing, sprint, and the most popular 4-cycle tire with Cup Karts North America, a wide range of Vega compounds and sizes are available for your karting needs. Head over to tsracing.com today or call 352-793-9600 to learn more about the Vega tire brand or the many products that they have at TS Racing. Parolin is among the winningest brands in the USA and around the world. The Parolin Le Mans full-size chassis for junior and senior classes and the Parolin Opportunity model for cadet divisions have earned success weekend after weekend at all the major championships and events in both the USA and throughout Europe. The Parolin chassis lineup also includes the Invader shifter, along with the Daytona 4-cycle chassis and the Delfino Kid Kart. Karters can head to the ParolinUSA.com website, where the entire chassis line and parts are available to you, with shipping available all across North America. Parolin USA partners with several companies and race teams across the country to provide a strong dealer network to represent the brand locally and at the national level to support drivers throughout North America. Get on the chassis that's winning. Drive a Parolin. Back at it with this edition of the EKN OutLap. We're talking about the Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals 9 coming up this weekend, September the 25th to the 28th. Could be a little rain during Wednesday, or rather Thursday and Friday. Looking like it's going to be a beautiful weekend. It's going to change things around for sure. We'll continue with our class-by-class preview here. Myself, Rob Howden, alongside David Cole on the EKN Radio Network. Let's move into the junior category, David. 87 entries all total. You look at some of the names that we've seen win in years past: Alexander Searle, Elijah Skaggs, Stefano Lucente, Logan Adams, Brent Cruz, some of these guys that have gone on. Of course, Brent, we know, moving on to a top career right now in stock car racing. But then some of the drivers we've seen up front over the last couple of years, the James Overbecks, Eli Warren, Isaac Malkett, Cade Yeager. These are drivers who have won at this major event before. None of the drivers winning divisionals this year have won in this category before. So those drivers, David, the divisional champions, ready to step things up.
Yeah, you have Carter Barkis in the south. You have Nathan Dupuy, the Canadian, in the east. Sam Tutwiler winning the north division, and Hudson Jack Erlin winning up in Canada, the championship up there. So yes, all four drivers in the field for this year. As you said, Cade Yeager, the defending winner, he's not he's graduated to senior. Lucas Thack moved up to senior. Christopher Wakefield moved up to senior. So a lot of the front drivers from last year's event moving up to the senior ranks. Hudson Jack Erlin actually finished 11th last year, so he could be kind of the driver to watch. Nathan Dupuis obviously has a lot of experience all over the country racing every weekend. He finished 19th last year. I don't see Carter Barkus yet, but I'm not sure where he was last year. So, but those two drivers certainly have experience. Tutwiler, a DNF last year in this race. So yeah, definitely going to have a new winner. That's something that is unique for this category, where we haven't had a repeat winner over the 9 different main events that we've had, 8 Grand Nationals that we've had, because in the 2017 edition, we actually had 2 different winners that year in the 2 final format that they did run.
So the interesting thing, you just scroll down this large field, and it is a lot of new names. As David had said, there are a bunch of drivers getting ready to step up to see who comes away with a big win. You mentioned the divisional champions already. Those are the drivers we'll key on. Brady Shad, maybe another one to watch for. But what I like about this, David, we're going to roll into this weekend, and as those times go down, we're going to find out who's got the pace to be up front. It's going to be a wide open junior category for this year's Grand Nationals.
Yeah, you got drivers like Tyrone Kemper Jr., who raced on the 2-cycle side of things. So we know that name well. And he's done a lot of Grand Nationals before in the past. So he could be the driver to kind of watch as we go on. Brady Shad, a winner champion at the Route 66 Sprint Series in this category. He's won on the USPKS program in X30 junior competition. So he could be a driver to watch. Gage Shipley is a local driver for Speed Tech Racing on the TB kart. He could have some local knowledge as well too.
How about Holden Harder, former sportsman, race winner at the Grand Nationals, moving up to the senior category?
And I just saw his name. Yeah, I think this is his second year in the junior division. So yeah, that's another driver to watch as well. So yeah, there's really no like major standout names, aside from the few that we've kind of already mentioned. But I think this is kind of an open book class, and it's very tough to say that when you're looking at 87 different drivers.
I know, right? All right, let's go into the Masters category. This is going to be a good one because there are a lot of established Masters drivers. This is the drivers have obviously worked up a little older. What is it, 30 or 35 for CKNA?
I want to say it's 30.
Okay,
I can double check here while you talk.
Yeah, let's do that. 43 drivers set to go in the Masters category. Former winner Scott Jeffries in 2017. Michael Welsh won as well and backed it up in 2018. Nick Tucker, as we know from Nitro Motorsports, came in and won in 19. Brandon Adkins, Michael Dittmer, Eric Fagan, Mark Steele. Steele, the 2-time defending race winner here in the Masters category. You look at the CKA divisional winners, and Ryan Sporowski won in the South. John Price in the East. J.D. Gunn in the North, and up in Canada, Eric Lassard coming away with the championship. So these will be drivers that we're looking for in this Masters category. But, we talk already. If you just go down alphabetically, you get a couple of drivers out of the gate are going to be in it. Todd Barron, Jamie Bradford, Chris Carroll. They're going to be chasing Ryan Cassidy for sure. He's going to be in the middle of the fight as well. There's 4 names and just we haven't even got to the D's yet. So that's the thing about this program. As you get to the D's, David, it's Dittmer, Michael Dittmer, Jeff Dolian, Eric Fagan. When you get into the S, along with Scott Falcone, who's moved over to Precision Performance Karting on a Coyote. Keep going down. David Galonia, who is a top 10 driver. There are so many hot shoes in this Masters category, and we haven't even got halfway through the alphabet yet. Amazing.
It'll be fun because I get to watch it.
You do get to watch it this year. You're right.
Yes, I watched from the sideline. That was not fun. So I get to actually cover these guys and maybe actually do some interviews with some of the old guys. So that'll be fun. You look at, Dittmer, Fagan, Steele, all defending or former winners of this event. So those kind of are the pedestal in this field. You said Sporowski, he's coming in with the South Division Championship. I think he's on his game now. He's got figured out this happy cart that they've kind of been developing over the last couple of years. So this could be his year. I know he's been close in the past in the CRG. This could be the year to kind of maybe move him up into the top step of the podium. But yeah, I mean, Rob, let's be honest. There's probably 20 guys that could win this race.
Well, yeah, Sean Meyer for sure. And there's a lot of really fast Legends drivers as well that could, like, an Eli Yanko, Tim Schutt, Jeff Scott. These are top Legends guys that are going to be in the fight in the Masters category as well.
Yeah, I want to say there's 8 of the top 10 returning from last year. So that's kind of the challenge you have with this category is there's a lot of experience, not just overall in karting, but this event. And so that's the crazy part when you kind of try and pinpoint and narrow this down. Looking at contenders, there's just so many.
Agreed.
I lost my thought. I was going to talk about somebody, and now I'm scrolling. Oh, AJ Codolata. That's a new name. That's somebody we haven't seen in the Masters ranks. I remember covering him in WK races back in the day. So
I was going to say,
that's a new name. Yeah, probably. So that's a name, a new name. So again, that's kind of the mix. We'll see who's up. Joshua Smoker, a former MLB player, going back to his karting roots, and this is his Grand Nationals debut. So that's another new name to kind of watch. And again, you talk about locals. There's locals that are going to be in this field that could be easily a top 10 contender all weekend long as well. So it'll be interesting to watch it from the sidelines instead of being out there and watching it from the back of the pack where I was watching it last year.
There you go. Let's move into the next category. I'm just throwing some names down here as I come through. But yeah, we're talking now about Legends, 45 in total. Todd Barron won back in 2021, the debut of the category. But David, the last couple of years, I mentioned it already in Masters, it's been Ryan Cassidy. He's been the guy up front, 3-time defending champion race winner of this Grand Nationals. Also won the North CKNA divisional title as well. Ron Kleiss in the South, Jeff Chalmers in the East, and Eli Yanko up in Canada winning those titles. They're all in the fight here this weekend. I'm looking forward to what should be an absolutely tremendous battle in this category, which I'll hopefully be somewhere in the middle of.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
Yes, you are correct in all 4 divisional champions in this field, and both of our former winners in this field. So again, when we talked about Masters, we talked about the quality of the field. This is a quality field without a doubt. Yes, you definitely have your work cut out to be top 10.
I haven't raced since last year, David.
I was just going to say, you haven't been in a kart since. So I'm going to go through the top 10 last year. It was Cassidy, Todd Bolton, who's returning, nearly got that victory last year. Yep. Tim Schutt, I don't know if he's racing. Is he there? Yep. Tim Schutt's there.
He's there.
Corey Flint, returning. Jeff Scott, returning. Todd Barron, returning. JD Gunn, returning. Rod Clinard, returning. Eli Yanko, we have already said he's returning. And David Estes, that's the only driver in the top 10 not returning. But then you keep going down through the field, and it's like, yep, they're back. Yep, they're back. Yep, they're back.
Jamie MacArthur has been on the podium before. John O'Keefe, a veteran driver, as we know. James Perkins, always in the fight. Phil Pignataro is coming to run as well. Falcone. Doug Cook was very quick last year as well, running that Coyote for Roderick Racing Development. I was battling with James Insco last year. We were all kind of running together. Ron Kleiss, Billy McLaughlin's going to run as well again. This is
Bill. This is Bill, not Billy. Get this right. It's Bill.
Is it Bill? It's Dad?
Bill.
It is
Bill
Dad.
McLaughlin.
This is Legends.
This is Legends, man.
Yes,
come on.
Bill. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's been doing a lot of club racing at K1 Whiteland. So
Joe DeBoover obviously able to run up front as well. We know that 100%. Right?
Yeah, I asked Billy. I said, were you racing Legend? He goes, no, that was my dad.
That's fantastic. Yeah, because I don't think Billy is 50 years old yet.
No,
but Bill's racing. That's awesome.
Yeah,
from McLaughlin Motorsports, obviously they had a program for many years. He's on the top kart with Super 2 USA. Dave, there's just a lot of quick guys. Tim Stiefel's obviously very quick. He'll be top 15. He'll be right in the middle of the fight. Could be top 10. Could be top 5. Just got to get things rolling. Out of Canada, you got Ronald Henry coming back again. Simon Pepin, who does a lot of work with PSL Karting, but does a lot of work for Cup Karts Canada. So I'm telling you, dude, this is just, it's a packed field. This is going to be fun.
Can I make a prediction?
Go for it.
Nobody's going to want to work with Phil Pignataro.
I will work with Piggy all day, every day. You know that. My wingman.
I just got to throw him under the bus. But did we say Stevenson? Mike Stevenson? Yeah,
we didn't yet. No, we didn't yet. Yep.
He was racing at Rock Island. He was right there in the Masters category all weekend long. So
shout out to the guys from racing.
Sorry.
Go.
Yeah, let me talk. I wasn't done yet.
Well, you took a break and we're talking. We're going.
I got to breathe. I can't. I'm not a great speaker like you are.
That's not mine.
Yeah, Stevenson. I just looked at my video. I think it was from Grand Nationals 4, and I just out qualified him for 7th. So he started 8th. I was 7th. He probably beat me that weekend.
I was going to give a shout out to the guys from Racing for Vets. Rainier Ponch will be out there running on his Coyote as well. Just a great field of drivers here in the Legends class. This is going to be good stuff for sure. All right. Well, listen, there's a break. You don't dive into it, so I'm going to cut you off. No. I left the break open. That's how it works when you're not in the same studio, Dave. We can't see each other.
Totally didn't have anything to say.
I left the All right. Commercial break. We get back. We're going to cap things off. We're going to go Sportsman, Cadet, and Kid Kart and wrap up this edition of the OutLap. In karting, it's important to be supported by the right people. With over 40 years of experience in the sport, Trinity Karting Group has everything you need to make your program successful. We do it all, and we do it right. We offer trackside support and arrive and drive programs at many of karting's biggest East Coast events, full product sales and service, and professional coaching from our experienced staff. Trinity Karting Group is a full-service operation based at the Motorsports Country Club of Cincinnati, which gives us access to our custom-designed driver training facility. This allows us to offer one-on-one coaching to take you to the next level. From arrive and drive and coaching programs to the parts you need, let Trinity Karting Group provide you with customer service and a racing experience second to none. Trinity Karting Group is an official Kart Republic race team, providing full trackside support at all the major USA karting events, including the SCUSA Pro Tour, United States Pro Kart Series, the SCUSA Super Nationals, and other events throughout the season. TKG has Kart Republic, IAME, MG Novinco tires, and more products in stock for those in Ohio and the Midwest region. Trinity Karting Group has a long history in the sport, a winning pedigree, and we're dedicated to driver development. We take pride in our professional approach and our positive attitude. Let us build a custom race program for you. Give us a call at 513-421-4463 or check us out online at trinitykartinggroup.com. What brand is known around the world for its innovation and success? It is SodiKart. The Sodi brand returned in full force during the 2023 season thanks to a new exclusive importer, the karting distribution led by industry veteran Terry Germanovich. The French manufacturer SodiKart is a leader within the karting industry, offering a wide range of products and services. The Sodi Racing chassis line offers products in classes from mini karts to KZ, all based on years of development and championship seasons around the world. Sodi Racing USA has expanded its dealer network over the last year, bringing the Sodi brand to several local clubs and regional programs. Sodi USA by Velocity Racing is the official race team in the United States for the brand, hitting all the major events and series throughout the season. Visit Sodi-Racing-USA.com to learn more about the Sodi Kart chassis or call 954-634-5111 to become part of the Sodi Racing USA network today. Sodi Kart, the world leader in the karting industry. Welcome back to EKN OutLap, episode number 96. David's working to try to figure out what happens when you leave a gap in the talking to kind of come in there. We'll see how he does here in the final segment. Let's go into Sportsman, David. 41 drivers. Let's look at some of the former winners.
Former winners include Ben Mayer. Let's go all the way back. Ayrton Grimm, he's a two-time winner. Caden Fretwell, another winner in 2017. Logan Adams, Ben Mayer. Driver racing TA2 right now.
Yeah.
Keelan Harvick in the Cars Tour. Isaac Malkett, as we talked about. So he's won Sportsman and I believe one junior, correct? So he's going to try and get 3 different levels for sure. Holden Harder, we talked about him moving up. And then last year's winner, Daniel Dragunov. He's going to have the opportunity to become only the 2-time a 2-time winner in the sportsman division, matching that with Ayrton Grimm. So Dragunov, a very wild race last year to be able to win at the line by 13 thousandths of a second. But he comes in as a divisional champion, winning in the North and coming in as last year's defending champion.
Yeah, and let's have a look as well at the divisional winners. David, did you already do that?
Ryder Thompson winning in the South program, and Keegan Irwin winning in the East. And Irwin will be there. Thompson will be there. So all three divisional winners. Right. This is not a class that they run in Cup Karts North America Canada division. They just run a cadet division, which includes both age groups.
Yeah, a lot of top drivers, David. This is really cool because you got guys coming in from Texas like Tanner Barsh, right? You've got local drivers like Hudson Howard. There's a lot of good drivers here.
Yeah, Barsh was the runner-up last year. AJ Stoner finishing in third. I think AJ Stoner's moved up to the junior ranks, so we'll see a gap there. But yeah, this is a kind of mix. There are drivers moving up from cadet to the sportsman division, again, which is 10 to 13, while the cadet is the 8 to 10 age group. So again, it's the growth or the evolution of the sport. You kind of graduate up. So we will see some different drivers possibly at the front this year from last year.
Yeah, 2021 Kid Kart champion Camden Clay is back once again. We'll see him out there. Connor Lipka for Timmy Tech on the comp kart. Danny O'Gara. I talked about local drivers as well. Another Indiana driver, Danny O'Gara. Crazy thing is here he's running sportsman this weekend. And I want to say this past weekend, he was racing in the Lucas Oil School of Racing Formula Car Series. So I don't know if he's 12 or how old Danny O'Gara is, but he's going from a Formula car to his 4-cycle sportsman kart this weekend. Why not?
Yes, I mean, yeah, that's the kind of the craze or the trend right now, Rob, is racing a sportsman kart and then going and racing 150, 170 mile an hour race car on the big tracks. Looking at our divisional winners again, Keegan Irwin finished 7th last year in this division. So the Canadian is a returning driver in this class. So him, Dragunov, Barsh, those are kind of the top names. Aston Wyatt finished 8th last year. He's already done some junior racing on the 2-cycle side of things. So those are kind of the names to look for this weekend.
I like it. Let's move on to the cadet category. 49 drivers in total running in the cadet class. And David had mentioned this was kind of that split that brought in the cadet category. Connor Lipka winning in 2023. Jaden Francisco last year. You look at the CKA divisional winners here for 2025. Anderson Hill winning in the South Series. Brent Mendoza East. Grant Heckman in the North. And Brody McDonald winning up in Canada. David, 49 drivers in cadet. You talk about the evolution, drivers moving up and down or as they work their way through. This will be, again, one of those other great races. Cadet, lots of hardcore drafting, and with a bunch of drivers that we know are going to be in the middle of the fight here. Yeah,
Heckman, Hemphill, and Mendoza are in the field. So the only one not there is Brody McDonald from Canada. Okay. So that's the only divisional winner not in the field. Top returning finisher from last year is Hudson Howard, who finished 3rd in this category. We've seen Hudson Howard all throughout the season, winning in Daytona in the micro Swift category in USPKS competition. So he's the top returning driver from last year. I'm looking, Slate Harrell finished 5th. He's back. Let's see if we can find. Nope, that driver's not returning. So so those are kind of the two names that stand out in terms of top returning drivers.
I love here's one as well. Spencer Height, who won the Kid Kart race last year, the Grand National, is going to be able to run the big track this year. Obviously, the Kid Karts run a smaller racetrack, the shortened track, but Spencer Height on the Nitro Kart in the 31, big track bound here in 2025.
Yeah, again, that evolution of the sport, you see the drivers go from the kid kart up to the cadet division now in Briggs competition for Cup Karts North America. And again, a lot of names that we'll see who kind of stands out once we get into happy hour on Friday.
Let's cap things off with the youngest drivers in the field. We did our race select stats from Keith Warren. The youngest driver, 5 years old in this category in Kid Kart, 23 in total. Some big names, actually, some guys we have seen win races coming up through the ranks. Brady Shad, we talked about Brady winning a big national race earlier this year in two-cycle competition, but he's also running here further up the order, obviously. He won Kid Kart back in 2017. Jacob Scheibel, Sawyer Chambers, Summit Rossiter, Camden Clay. We've talked about Camden running at Sportsman here. He won back in 2021. Parker Stewart, Blake Hindery, and Spencer Height, the most recent race winners. Drivers who scored divisional champions this year in the Kid Kart category. Maddox Neves in the south, Sophia Mendoza in the east, William Heckman in the north, and Kari Doze in Canada. David, let's have a look at Kid Kart because, listen, 23 drivers. I like it. That's a good field for Kid Karts.
It's a very good field. And again, we have all 4 divisional champions in the field this weekend. So that's a good stat to have. Looking at last year's results, I don't see any top 10 drivers returning that I can see kind of going through the list. So we're going to see some new names at the front, but very familiar names. William Heckman, as you said, that's actually the brother of last year's runner-up, Grant Heckman. So we could see another Heckman on the podium this weekend. Names that we're familiar with, Dittmer. We got Michael Dittmer's son, Cruz Dittmer, in the field racing his first ever Grand Nationals this year. Looking at some of the other names, Maverick Reddick, we've seen that name throughout the season, racing in Texas Sprint Racing Series and the CKNA North program.
Here's what again. I talk all about the fact that how old I get to feel.
Oh yeah,
Mateo Romeo, out of Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Okay.
I covered his dad, Michael Romeo, when he was a cadet racer up in Canada, and through his junior racing career and moved on. Obviously, they were Mike Wilson back in the day with Romeo Motorsports. So I'm looking forward to be able to see Michael and watch Mateo race as well. It's gonna be exciting.
You are old, Rob.
Listen, I'm legends. I'm in the legends category. And I'm not even a young guy in the legends category anymore. I'm moving my way up, baby.
Yes, you are. But yeah, a good field. Again, you got drivers from Oregon, you got drivers from Maryland, Florida, Texas, Ontario, New York, all over the place. So a great mix of drivers that you'll see get out of the cart and they'll go and hang out all weekend long until they got to get back in the carts.
I love it. That's fantastic stuff. All right, folks, that wraps things up for this edition of the EKN OutLap. And as I said, this kicks off our coverage throughout this event, the CKNA Grand Nationals 9. I'll be behind the wheel in Legends, but I'm only running that one category, so I'll be opened up for half the day. David's going to take this year off. He's going to focus on the coverage throughout the weekend, so looking forward to that. David, we can talk a little bit about some of the stuff we got going on. Obviously, we're going to have the live broadcast on ekartingnews.com/live. Car Chaser will have the race, but you'll be able to listen live as well through our program for the play-by-play. All the social media updates, we'll be doing everything as always. But we're also, you're now going to be hanging out over at Garage 33. We've got a new garage over at Newcastle Motorsports Park. We're probably going to knock a couple of podcasts out while we're there, some interviews, just doing some cool stuff throughout the entire weekend.
Yeah, trying to change things up. We haven't done any live shows from the track in a while. So we thought, why not? You know, you're only racing half the day. So it allows for that to happen. You're not on the mic. So that helps too, maybe. We'll try and do some of these podcasts during action or at the end of the day. We're really I still got to sort out our time schedule. We might do one, I think we said Friday midday to kind of change things up a little bit because we also have the barbecue stuff. So we're going to try and do one Saturday night while the fun stuff is happening with the out of the box stuff. And the racing on track and the barbecue. And I'm sure there's the chili cook-off again, which will probably be near Garage 33. I think that's down towards like 34, not 34, but like 36 or 40.
Yeah, Jeff Hill and right by the Bradford area there. Yeah, they'll be ready to have some fun for sure.
So yeah, we'll be sure, make sure you follow us on social all weekend. Of course, we'll have updates on that. We'll definitely have more interviews. We'll get a hold of drivers. We'll try and get our paddock insider working on Thursday as well. And again, just try and give you as much coverage and insight as possible for what is the largest 4-cycle event in the world.
Cup Karts North America Grand Nationals 9 this coming weekend at Newcastle Motorsports Park. Thanks for tuning in this edition of the EKN OutLap. Lots of coverage for the next week. And again, we will be camped out at Newcastle Motorsports Park for 2 weeks. We're back the following week as well for the MG Tires 200. Thanks for tuning into this edition of the show, folks. We do appreciate it. On behalf of David Cole, my name's Rob Howden. Bye.